Good morning, dear students. Welcome in social science class. Dear students, previously we have done the Lodi dynasties, and now we are going to start a new topic, that governance during the Sultanate period. How was the governance during that period of time? Among them, we will discuss about the administration part, we will discuss about the religious part, the society part, the art and architecture, their culture, all those things, and economy we will discuss in this. Yes, I have given you the question, who was the father of Babur and who designed the Taj Mahal. Then we can say that the Babur's father was Umar Sheikh Mirza, and the designer or architect of Taj Mahal was Isa Khan, and along with Ustad Ahmed Lahori. Now the administration during the Delhi Sultanate period, the Sultan dominated the central government as he was the head of the state. The Sultan was the head of the state, and he also acted as the executive and highest court of appeal. All rules and regulations, all activities were controlled by the Sultan. He appointed many ministers to run the administration in Delhi, in which we have the different we can say that the portfolios or the designation. The first one, we have Diwan-e-Wazarat. Diwan-e-Wazarat means the head of the government, or in simple words we can say that the prime minister. In simple words we can say that the prime minister. Diwan-e-Wazarat, the head of the department, was Wazir and looked after the finance, revenue, taxation, and the entire central administration. He was controlled, just like present Prime Minister is doing. Just like we have our Shri Narendra Modi ji, he is also working and he is just controlling the whole system in India, we can say that. Similarly, they were having Diwan-e-Wazarat. Next, Diwan-e-Arz. He was the head of the military administration, or simple we can say that the defense minister, just like we have Rajnath Singh. He can control the whole military and army officials. Then Diwan-e-Insha. He was in charge of entire correspondence of the state with rulers of other independent states and his own subordinate officials. They were the rulers as well as the other subordinate rulers as well as soldiers. They were working over there. Next, we were having the chief barid, or simple words we can say that the spies or informers who were informing each and every activity, or simple word, they were the eyes of the Sultan. Qazil-ul-Qazat, he was the head of the judiciary, like we have the chief justice, and we are having our chief justice, that Sharad Arvind Bobde is the 47th Chief Justice of India. Wakil-e-Dar, we can say that is a person who can controlling all the areas from where the royal family is getting the commodities, or in simple words, he or she was the supervisor of each and every area, especially the factories or the karkhanas. So these were the different portfolios or the designations who worked under the Sultan, that was Diwan-e-Wazarat, Diwan-e-Arz, Diwan-e-Insha, Chief Barid, Qazi-ul-Qazat, and Wakil-e-Dar. Next, we have the society. The Indian society, as usual, was mainly divided into two classes, that was Hindus and Muslims. And here also the Muslims were the ruling class as compared to Islamic State. They were divided mainly the two sects. We have already discussed about the Sunni and the Shia. The Islamic group was divided into two categories, that was Shia and Sunni, where Sunni is very particular about their system and the rules and regulations as compared to Shia. The Muslims enjoyed a higher economic status as compared to Hindus, and during the Sultanate period, the slave system was very famous, and maximum people were slave against the rulers, and around 1,80,000 slaves worked under Firoz Tughlaq. On the other hand, the condition of women was also not good. It was very bad, and many Muslims kept more than one wife. The system of polygamy was prevailed in the society, but it is only for the Muslims, not for the Hindus. And a Muslim widow can also remarry, but the Hindu society remarriage was not allowed. They were totally strict with these activities which was prevailed in the society. Hindus formed a large majority of total population. The maximum population was belonged to Hindu society or belongs to Hinduism, but still they were not having that a right status in the society. They were always exploited by Muslims. They were economically backward also. They were not given the high post in government jobs or in any other sultan's administration. The Hindu society was based on caste system. On the other hand, the Muslims, they were exploiting the Hindus. The lower classes exploited by the higher classes. It's a fact when the rich can always exploit the poor one, or bigger thing can always exploit the smaller one. This led to wide-scale conversion to Islam, and what happened afterwards, maximum people they can change their religion from Hinduism to Islam. The Hindu society suffered from evils like sati system, where the widow can also burn along with his dead husband, child marriage, the early marriage of a boy or a girl, ban on widow remarriage. There was a ban on widow remarriage. Widows were not allowed to get remarry, but in case of only Hindus. And female education was also not in practice. So these were the social evils which was prevailed in the society, and intercaste marriage was also banned. It was also not allowed. Next we have economy. How was their economy? It was totally based on agriculture, and the agriculture was totally based on rainfall, but somewhere they were doing irrigation also to increase their productivity and to increase the level of the agriculture. Firoz Tughlaq constructed many canals we have discussed, and that proved help for the agriculture. And on the other hand, the farmers, their life of poverty and misery was also going to reduce. The main industries were spinning, weaving, the thread work was there, sugar production, handicrafts, pottery, jewelry making. These were the works they were preferring to earn their livelihoods. Some of the sultans patronized art and craft as well. They were also the great lovers of art and architecture. That's why they have also decided that in our time period, we can make many foods which can a symbol of our remembrance. They have their own karkhanas, their own factories, so that they cannot go anywhere and they can make their required or luxurious things which were required by the royal families, and they can make their luxurious goods which was manufactured for the royal families. India had a flourishing internal and foreign trade as well during that period of time, because their production level was increased, and they carried both by sea as well as by the land. Different things were exported by India like rice, spices, indigo, textiles, silk and sandalwood, and on the other hand they were importing the things or the horses, wine, high grade textile, glassware, raw silk, etc. These things were required by Indians, and they were imported by the different countries where they were having the trade relations. One more thing we have which was left. Do you know in West Bengal there is a district known as 24 Parganas, and there are 24 Parganas in the district, and a single Pargana having 84 or 100 villages. This one area was also very famous and popular in West Bengal, which was maximum ruler want to control over this area, just like there were previously we have read about tripartite struggle and war about Kannauj. Similarly, this area is also very famous for each and every point of view. Next, we have religion. During this period, they were following the Hinduism, but in very less number, because Hindus were exploited very badly, and that's why their religion was also dominant in society. It was followed by majority of people. The Hindus followed Vaishnavism and Shaivism, means those were the followers of Vishnu and the followers of Lord Shiva. Jainism and Buddhism were also practiced by the people. Islam was mainly brought to India by Mahmud Ghazni, we have already discussed in previous chapters, and Muhammad Ghori. And Muslim empire, we can say that, was founded by Muhammad Ghori in India. Earlier it was not, but it was founded by Muhammad Ghori, and after that they control or rule over India such a long period of time. They believed in Muslims believed in one God, that is called Allah. But in Hindus, we don't know that for which deity we have to worship. There are lots of and number of deities or gods and goddesses are in Hindus. Sorry. Sufism and Bhakti movements were also started during this period of time. The next topic we will continue in the next video.